We have some of these capabilities now?
Inconclusive. Even in the 60s, the CIA used this to bring down monsoons during the Vietnam War, to wash out the Viet Cong. Governments have been playing with this thing.
Alleged to.
Alleged to, right.
Yeah.
Now, we realize that for decades now, these governments have been alleged to have experimented with weather control, but nothing conclusive. This time we're beginning
the year of rapid intensification, and what an epic development this has become. As you look at this storm, you know, we know forecasts aren't perfect, but the models did not handle this well.
Yeah, this was shocking, actually, Amy. I've never seen one this far out of bounds. Going from yesterday morning, a Category 1 forecast at landfall just north of Acapulco, to coming ashore last night as a Category 5. And they've never had a hurricane anything like this in Acapulco. The last time a hurricane made landfall on a track similar to this, kind of coming off the ocean and going on land, I mean, as opposed to going parallel to the coast, it was 1951. And it was a Category 1, and that's the only one in the record book. So this is completely out of bounds.
You are now within minutes of horror, because we have a problem here. Hurricane Otis is a historic hurricane, because a hurricane has never been seen in the Acapulco, Mexico area before, because it went from a tropical storm to a Category 5 hurricane in less than 12 hours. Rapidly intensifying hurricanes are nothing new. They're extremely rare, but they're not new. The only problem is, this is a new normal for 2023. This is very scary. This is a nightmare scenario, because what they're considering a new normal can now be considered a surprise attack. This confusion in the weather can lead to very deadly and catastrophic outcomes. You go to bed thinking what's approaching is a tropical storm, but you wake up to everything destroyed. You wake up to everything gone, because out of nowhere, it became an extreme Category 5. Because let's be honest, who really prepares for a tropical storm? You may have some people go out to the grocery store a day before a tropical storm hits, because nobody really wants to go out in the rain. But nobody prepares for a tropical storm like they would a Category 3, a Category 4, or a Category 5 hurricane. In my area, I hear that a Category 3 that is heading to my direction is strengthening to a Category 4. I would have already made plans for a hotel in another area. But if I hear that a Category 5 is heading my way, I would have already been to another country somewhere. I am pretty much a horror YouTuber that is also a scaredy cat and a hypochondriac. It is what it is. But like I said, these sudden bursts of power give people very little time to prepare. And if you live in a popular city and something like this occurs, you're not really going anywhere. Especially a city like Acapulco, which is a popular tourist destination, but is also the permanent home to roughly 800,000 people. Imagine thousands upon thousands of people trying to leave a city at the same time as a massive hurricane is raging on. That would be a very chaotic scene. So at this point, you're pretty much a sitting duck. But like I said, in the past, we have had other rapidly intensifying hurricanes, most notably seen in 2017, but most recent was Hurricane Ian in 2022. The only difference is, when it comes to Hurricane Ian and these other hurricanes that rapidly intensify, they were already predicted to get stronger. They only became stronger faster than what was predicted. Hurricane Otis, on the other hand, has made records. It has made history. No other hurricane in history has been predicted to remain a tropical storm, and in less than 12 hours, it busted wide open and becomes a Category 5.
Not only was this rapid intensification, this is what you basically call explosive intensification, just really something you do not normally see. But this, unfortunately, is exactly what we saw with Hurricane Otis as it worked its way onshore. Now, it was expected to intensify and up to a Category 1 hurricane, possibly a little bit stronger than that, but certainly nothing in the realm of what we saw yesterday.
This indeed makes it all the more terrifying, because it's taking place in a location where hurricanes are not known to develop. Now, as it made its way through Mexico, Hurricane Otis did weaken down to a Category 2 hurricane. But before doing so, it did strike Acapulco as a Category 5. It left a lot of devastation. Walls on buildings were ripped off. There were flooded hotel rooms with collapsed ceilings. There was rubble and downed trees lining the streets. Persistent rain and flooding made it very difficult to move. Now, like I said before, hurricanes hitting Acapulco hardly ever happen. most that happens, there's no way something like this could ever be predicted. So what does this new normal tell us? It tells us there is no way to prepare for a catastrophic hurricane to arise, that whether it's a blue sunny day or a tropical storm, terrifying destructive weather can come without any notice, wiping out homes, buildings, and entire populations. So what exactly is causing this new normal? The same thing that caused those fires in Maui, the man-made, climate change, the big bad boogeyman. There is no way around it. Even FEMA's director has stated after those fires in Maui that weird destructive weather is our new normal. We already know that between our government and the World Economic Forum, and if not higher, 15-minute smart cities are planned to help fight climate change. Their plan to transform our world and create these 15-minute smart cities is all laid out on the UN's 2030 Agenda website. You have Klaus Schwab come out and say there will be no more private cars driven in California by 2030. Highways will now be turned into parks. If you do need to go to the airport, our AI automatic driving car will come pick you up and take you to the airport. But for anything else you need, you just walk to it or bike to it in your 15-minute smart city. There is no reason to leave this city. Well, then people ask, how do you get very large populations inside a very condensed 15-minute smart city where everything you need is just a walk around the block? Wouldn't stores be packed? Wouldn't hospitals be packed? Well, no, not if you cull the population with things like disease X that's right around the corner, or climate change. They are already letting us know that 1 billion people will die by 2100, and again, they're being very generous with that number. But 1 billion people will die by 2100 due to the effects of climate change. So we're going to see more climate change like climate change took place in Maui. You know, the climate change that shut off everybody's water. So we're going to see more super advanced climate change take place, like the climate change in Maui. The type of climate change that knows how to shut people's water off so they don't fight back. The type of climate change that knows how to place police cars at exits so nobody escapes. The type of climate change that gives no advance warnings to give people a chance to prepare. 2023 has just been such a strange and scary year. We have the government confirming knowledge of UFOs and aliens. We had strange things happening on planes. We have real prospects of a global conflict with what's going on in the Middle East. And now we have more devastating weather than ever before. And I can't help but wonder with the number 23 popping up everywhere in the media. Remember back then when we thought all our lives were going to end on September 23rd? But I wonder if that number 23 has to do with the year 2023 in general. Just such an odd year, and now they really cranked up the weather manipulation. And before anybody tells you weather manipulation is a conspiracy theory, they have always let us know they can manipulate the weather.
Lasers now could one day manipulate rain and lightning. CBS This Morning contributor Michio Kaku is a physics professor at City College of New York. Professor, nice to see you. Extraordinary seeing Al Gore and Bill Clinton there together with Charlie, wasn't it?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, they did not get into this discussion,
No.
though. But it is fascinating. I mean, lasers, really? To change the weather?
That's right. Well, as Mark Twain once famously said, everyone complains about the weather, but no one ever does anything about it. Well, instead of doing a rain dance, we physicists are firing trillion-watt lasers into the sky to actually precipitate rain clouds and actually bring down lightning bolts. This is potentially a game changer.
But this is experimental.
It's experimental. However, in the laboratory so far it works. When you have water vapor and you have dust particles or ice crystals, you can precipitate rain. It condenses around the seeds. These seeds can also be created by laser beams. By firing trillion-watt lasers, you rip apart the electrons, creating what are called ions, and these ions act like seeds, like dust particles, bringing down rain and even lightning.
Weather manipulation is as much a conspiracy theory than the conspiracy theory that I am an AI-voiced robot. I'm not a real person behind a microphone. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you like this channel and you want to see more, please subscribe. If you're already subscribed, please like, as any engagement does help the channel grow. Once again, thank you so much for your support.